alumni on what they all took away from their service experiences and what advice they may have for you. You'll also have an opportunity later this afternoon to join a virtual member networking event where you'll have the opportunity to get to know more about your fellow AmeriCorps members serving all around the state of Washington. I know some programs may be joining us today as one large group, but we do encourage as many of you as possible to engage in the chat. Show us your pride and enthusiasm for the important service you do day in and day out. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our leader, Serve Washington's Executive Director, Trish Almond.
Thank you, Diane, and thank all of you for being here with us today as we celebrate the beginning of our 2024-2025 program year. And most importantly, thank you for your commitment to serving in AmeriCorps, bettering our communities through your national service. As a leader, something I often ask others is, what is your why? Our respective whys are what have driven each of us to serve and dedicate part of our life to national service. For me, my why is helping others to be their best, teaching, mentoring, educating, so they can help others lead in their respective spaces. As Simon Sinek once said, if we want to feel an undying passion for our work, if we want to feel we are contributing to something bigger than ourselves, we all need to know our why. I would like each of you to just take a moment and ask yourself, what is my why? And then write it down. Reflect on that why throughout this next year. Reflect on it during difficult times. Reflect on it when you are tired. Reflect on it when you need to find your inner strength. Always reflect on your why and use it as your guiding principle in life and in your position with AmeriCorps. You may be wondering, how does the Serve Washington staff and commission fit into the AmeriCorps picture? As a pass-through entity for federal funding, Serve Washington is responsible for monitoring each of our subgrantees for compliance, both in a fiscal and program capacity. Furthermore, the Serve Washington staff and commission are committed to finding ways to continue serving you through educational sessions to be held throughout this year. We continue to look at ways to support our members to make your service time even more meaningful. Finally, in closing, I wish you all the best of luck this year as you serve your communities, giving to something greater than yourself. And as a reminder, always remember your why. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next video, which contains a few words from Lieutenant Governor Denny Heck. Denny Heck serves as Washington's 17th Lieutenant Governor. First elected in 2020, Lieutenant Governor Heck brings to the office a lifetime of experience in the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. As Lieutenant Governor, he is the president of the Washington State Senate and the chair of the Senate Rules Committee. He also serves as acting governor whenever Governor Inslee is out of state. Lieutenant Governor Heck previously served as the first United States representative from Washington's 10th Congressional District. While in Congress, he served on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the House Financial Service Committee, and the Joint Economic Committee. Please enjoy the video.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Denny Heck. Today, we celebrate the start of your service journey and your dedication to helping communities build resilience in all corners of our great and beautiful state. Throughout my journey, serving in the State House and Congress, and then as your Lieutenant Governor, I've had the privilege to see how making meaningful connections through service can be such a powerful tool for change. What I've learned in every role I've held is that service is about making a difference, no matter how big or small. And making a difference in the lives of others, well, that's the highest calling there is. You're taking your oath today. You're becoming part of changes in communities throughout our state. And so, To the program staff and community partners here, thank you for your support. Your encouragement and belief in these AmeriCorps members plays such a crucial role in their journey. I trust you know that. And to all of the AmeriCorps members here today, thank you. Thank you for choosing to serve, and congratulations on your new chapter. I've had the privilege to know scores of AmeriCorps volunteers over the years, and I make you this promise today. The experience you will have will stay with you in the most positive way for the rest of your lives. So, now go forth and do good.
We are so fortunate to have received this video from Denny Heck. I especially liked that the Lieutenant Governor emphasized that AmeriCorps members and staff are making meaningful connections through service. Hi everyone, I'm Mary Van Verst, a program officer with Serve Washington. I'm with my co-host and colleague, Thomas Darnell, to lead us through a brief activity. Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah. Thomas Darnell. I'm the grants officer here at Serve Washington. I've been here about 3.5 years. I'm a 2-time alum, a returned Peace Corps volunteer, and former AmeriCorps program staff.
Thanks, Thomas. So everyone, we would like to know who's in the virtual room with us and to develop an understanding of the reach of AmeriCorps in Washington. So this will be a short polling activity. We'll present 4 polling statements or questions and ask that you respond. The first polling question will come up on the screen. There it is. Where are you in your AmeriCorps service journey? We wonder if you're serving your first year, second year, or third term, or other, perhaps a 4th term or service in another capacity.
And it's going pretty heavy in first year, but we do have a fair share of second, third, and other, possibly more than 3 years, possibly staff. I don't know, but it's great that we're gonna have so many first year members that we're seeing off on their first year of service.
And welcome back second and third members too.
Absolutely. All right, looks like that one's kind of settled.
So we can move on to poll number 2. We're wondering if you were here in Washington when you chose service or if you moved from outside of Washington.
All right, we have a lot of no's, which means we have hometown heroes here. I myself served in Maryland. I was from Michigan, so I moved from out of state. And I also moved from out of state to be here in Washington. I love it here. It's a great place to move to. I see that the yeses have ticked up a little, but the no's are definitely taking this one away. And it looks like that one is about settled.
Great. For our third poll, what region are you serving in? Are you in Western Washington, Central Washington, or Eastern Washington?
Getting a strong presence from Western Washington. I want to remind people that these results are for entertainment purposes only, as we have entire teams joining together, and they'll only get 1 vote per team. But definitely representation from Central and Eastern Washington, so we're proud to see it. But of course, Western Washington is kind of running away with this one. And
All
looks
right.
like that one has settled out.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. And now on to the last poll question. AmeriCorps programs have various focus areas. So we are wondering, is your service focused in disaster services, education, environment, health, maybe serving veterans and military families, or social services?
Getting a very strong education presence here. The first year I served in AmeriCorps, I was education focused, so good to see the representation. Also, very strong environmental presence. We have a very large conservation corps and also Earth Corps, Student Conservation, Phoenix Conservancy. So a lot of people doing that work as well. We have some social services and then a little bit of health. I can imagine who some of these people are, which is great. And yeah, so there we have it. Mostly education, quite a bit of environment, and then some representation with all the rest. Thanks everybody for participating.
Thank you, everybody.
And I'll just say that Serve Washington is proud to have a presence in communities across the state. Our programs have members performing service not just in our heaviest population centers, but in locales in every corner of Washington. My own work has taken me to visit programs in lovely cities such as Port Angeles, Kennewick, Bellingham, Wenatchee, and of course, Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia. No matter where our programs are located or how wide the reach, Serve Washington has deep pride in every one of the programs we are about to spotlight, and we are excited about the year of service ahead of you. When your program comes up, let's see you fill the chat up with some AmeriCorps A's.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Schmid, and as a two-time AmeriCorps and Vista alum, I love seeing the names, locations, and programs in the chat and seeing everyone being able to represent their group. It's great to have you all here. At Serve Washington, I support administration of the Washington Climate Corps Network, but today I have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker. Ryan Mello was born in Kailua, Hawaii, and moved to Tacoma in 1997 to attend the University of Puget Sound, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in politics and government. After his studies, Ryan fell in love with Tacoma through his service as an AmeriCorps volunteer. Ryan served for 2 years at the Youth United program at the United Way of Pierce County, where he designed ways for young people to cultivate a lifelong ethic of giving back to the community through service. Ryan has carried these values throughout his career, as he has served on the Tacoma City Council, the Metro Parks Tacoma Board of Commissioners, and led the Pierce Conservation District. Now, Ryan serves as the chair of the Pierce County Council, representing the county's 4th district, which includes the communities of downtown Tacoma, Hilltop, Central and South Tacoma, Port, and the cities of Fircrest and University Place. Ryan and his partner live in the theater district of Tacoma, and they enjoy hiking, supporting their local sports teams and art scenes, and continuing in local community service. With that said, now please put your digital hands together as we welcome to the Zoom stage our keynote speaker, Mr. Ryan Mello.
Thank you, Adam. Good afternoon, everyone. It is really good to see everybody. I want to first start out with congratulations for everyone for starting your service, especially if you're a first year, and a deep amount of gratitude for everyone returning for a second or third year. As Adam said, my name is Ryan Mello. I use he, him, his pronouns. I serve as chair of the Pierce County Council. And 23 years ago, in September of 2001, I was right where you are at, beginning my first term of the AmeriCorps program right here in Washington State, actually in Parkland, Washington, and doing my service throughout Pierce County. My home site was the United Way of Pierce County. I saw a bunch of United Way folks in the roll call of programs, so I have a huge love for United Way throughout our state and our country. So big shout out to our United Way members. My program was a lot like the Imagine Justice program. So another big shout out to Imagine Justice. I don't have any favorites, but I know and love our Imagine Justice program here in Tacoma, Pierce County. My program was very similar to theirs. It's a larger cohort team environment that fanned out to many different community-based organizations in Pierce County to do service in lots of different sectors. My team was very similar. And then my actual service every day was at the United Way of Pierce County. So again, 23 years ago, I was sitting where you're at right now. And I just recall what a life-changing experience my AmeriCorps program is, and I'm so excited for everybody who's starting or continuing your AmeriCorps program this fall. So I want to first share that I truly loved my program and my Domestic Peace Corps service so much that, like many of you, I decided to do 2 terms. I'm told that about 60 of you are beginning to serve your 3rd term. That is absolutely amazing that about 60 of you are seeing how vitally important your service is to your local community and what an impact you are having in your community, that you've decided to commit another year of your life to serving your community. Huge congratulations to our 3rd term returning members, but truly, truly all of you. My hats off to all of you for giving the sacrifice that you're making, right? I was in your shoes 23 years ago. The stipend is still very modest, but the stipend isn't as good as it is today. You know, many of us have worked to try to increase those stipends to try to make it just a little bit more bearable. But right, this is a huge sacrifice that you're making for your own livelihoods, for your own quality of life, in order to give your life of service for a year or 2 or 3, and that is just really, really commendable and profound. So, you might not know it, but what you're beginning in your service will truly be life-changing. You have so many exciting milestones ahead of you that you really can't fathom. I know, looking back now, 23 years later, I know that my service in my AmeriCorps program really was the defining milestone in my life, that fork in the road, if you will, that really allowed me to better get to know Pierce County, get to know the people of Pierce County, the many places, the school districts I got to work with, the community-based organizations I got to work with. It's really because of my service at AmeriCorps and all of those experiences, which is why I chose to stay in Tacoma and Pierce County, make this my life. My partner and I have chosen to make this our forever home, and where I've deepened my service now through public service, through elected service. And I absolutely attribute my time in AmeriCorps to grounding me in this community, falling in love with this community, and allowing me to really build deep roots here and relationships here, and making this my forever home. So, whether it is that you go on to whatever, right? Be in business or be a teacher or a firefighter or run for elective office, whatever it is you choose to do after your service, and whether you choose to stay in the community you're serving in now or move to a community, I am beyond certain that the friendships you're going to make, the experiences you're going to have, and the things you're going to be able to do are going to absolutely influence how you go about living your life. And you're going to be much better off, you personally, and the hundreds of people you're going to serve and the lives you're going to touch over the next 10 months or so. So a deep amount of gratitude, a huge amount of congratulations for you starting this really exciting part of your life. Look, in my service, I met people who I'm still good friends with. I still have folks who I met in my service who are actually coworkers today, coworkers in community. They work in a different agency, but I still get to work with them, and I met them 23 years ago as a part of my AmeriCorps program. I built relationships for a lifetime. I treasure those relationships. AmeriCorps gave me the opportunity to build those relationships. And I'm confident that if you let it happen, you too will build personal and professional relationships that will serve you so well for a lifetime. Look, there's about 500 of you beginning your service today throughout the state of Washington. I gave a shout out earlier to a home team here in Imagine Justice, who I've been able to work with on projects. I know there's other folks working in the South Sound. I look forward to meeting with you personally. I really do. So I hope I get an invite from anyone who's doing service in the Pierce County. I'd love to come visit your site. I'd love to come see what you're doing and lift up your work and celebrate your work with you. Um, I also have a great love. I don't mean to be choosing favorites. I might get in trouble for this later. Seriously, everyone's service is really impactful. I just also want to give a shout out to the Washington Conservation Corps teams and folks doing conservation work. I see some crying emojis. Please don't be upset. I'm joking. I know you're joking too. But the Conservation Corps team members, look, I have such a love for conservation as well. I've spent a bunch of my professional life working in conservation. For 10 years, I led the local conservation district, and we worked with AmeriCorps team members to protect habitat for people, for fish and wildlife, to improve water quality and tree canopy in our cities, and make park access more equitable for all communities, especially our racially diverse communities and lower income communities. So, all of you are going to have such varied and valued experiences. And I just wanted to give a shout out to some of the communities and AmeriCorps teams that I have a personal relationship with or have done work with. So thanks for letting me give you a shout out. But all of you, whether you're working in healthcare or serving our veterans or our seniors or bringing food security to more people or teaching or helping to make our communities more resilient in the face of climate change, doing behavioral health work. I love the AmeriCorps program because of just the variety of programs that are out there for you to learn, what's out there for you to do, right? What's next in your life. It's a great opportunity to learn more about yourself, more about your community, more about what future professional lives might be, and just an amazing, joyful year. It's going to be a hard year. It's a year of sacrifice, but it's also just a tremendously joyful year to reflect and give back to your community in a way that really you probably won't have another opportunity in your life to do. So this year will be full of sacrifice, right? The stipend isn't much. Many of you are being co-housed with folks you've never met before, maybe still living at home or with other friends and family. You're making lots of sacrifices in order to give of your skills and passion and time to your community. And it's going to be sacrificing just everything you got, right? It's going to be challenging. You're going to have lots of challenges that you're facing as you deliver your program. You know, former President Barack Obama has said numerous times, if it were already easy, it would already been done. And so what you're doing is challenging, because if the issues that you were working on were already solved, they would already been done. So you're going to learn. Your year is going to be full of excitement. It's going to be full of growth. It's going to be full of fulfillment. I absolutely promise you, you're going to feel all of those feels. So, in my service, I learned that the power of community organizing and asking people to do something is so powerful. So really much of my work at the United Way of Pierce County, as was said in my introduction, was leading the Youth United program at the United Way of Pierce County. Basically, I was a community organizer. I was working with middle school and high school students as a community organizer to organize them to figure out ways that were interesting to them to better their community and to get into a lifelong ethic of giving back to our community and to urge them to do something positive for their community. So two things in particular I got to do in this regard at the United Way during my service. One was I got to design and create what we call the Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Day of Caring. This is a day of service of middle school and high school students throughout Pierce County. We had over 1,000 young people doing a day of community service. My day was to organize that day. So I got all the community-based organizations who created work opportunities, community service opportunities, whether they were food banks or homeless shelters or domestic violence shelters or open spaces that needed to be cleaned up or restored or planting trees. Or painting graffiti or whatever, so many different varied experiences. We had over 1,000 young people both years that I got to lead the Youth Day of Caring, and over 50 different work sites. So that was awesome, be able to expose young people to the many different community-based organizations doing work, just like the community-based organizations all of you are working at over the next year. The second major program I got to work on during my AmeriCorps service was leading the design and development of what we call the Letter in Community Service program. So, we wanted to really help young people find their passions and really know that community service is just as impactful and way to connect to the community and to grow and develop as a young person, just as athletics are, right? Just as music is. So many communities, you earn a letter in community service for varsity athletics, right? Well, we designed a program in Pierce County during my AmeriCorps term called the Letter in Community Service Program, and we got all 13 school districts in Pierce County to participate and got high school students from all 13 school districts to earn letters in community service. It was so much fun to be able to design that program and deploy that program with school superintendents teachers and young people. It was designed by young people along with me and deployed with young people. And to this day in Pierce County, every year, literally hundreds of young people earn their varsity letter in community service, and they get to use that not only in their applications for college or work, but they get to, and their AmeriCorps program, things like that. But they also have learned such great skills around commitment and discipline and deepen their knowledge and love for their respective communities. So those are two of the things that I got to do. They're so impactful. They're both living on to today, 23 years later. So I can't wait to see the kinds of programs that you design from the beginning or take to the next level, or the things that you get to polish and improve because you are there giving the energy and commitment to doing them, just like I got to do 23 years ago. Look, my experience in service really exposed me to truly how special our community is and how many different job opportunities there are in fields that really excite me. Um, Fields of work that made me feel like I truly was making a difference in people's lives, right? Not just pushing paper around, not just building widgets or, and that's why I actually decided to do the AmeriCorps program to begin with. Honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life out of college. I didn't want to, I was being recruited to be a salesperson to sell beer or wine or cell phones or things like that. Yeah, could I have made a lot more money right out of college being a salesperson at some Fortune 500 company? Yeah, probably. But that didn't excite me. And I knew I wanted to do something that made other people's lives better, but I didn't quite grasp exactly how to do that yet. My time at the AmeriCorps program showed me the many pathways, the many different fields, the many different career paths that were ahead of me that could allow me to wake up in the morning and say, wow, I'm really making a difference. I'm really helping that person sleep better, be better, have just a little less stress in their life, or help solve a problem and make someone else's life better. I'm so glad I found the AmeriCorps program because it put me on the trajectory of public service that I'm so fortunate to be on today. I continue to serve as a policymaker in our community because I love the impact of addressing challenges at a systems level or a policy level, right? When I get concerned about why people are hungry or why there's too many people sleeping on the street, or why we have too many young people inflicted with gun violence, right? These are the things that keep me up at night. These are the things that I want to continue to work on at a systems level or policy level so that more people have a roof over their head and a safe and loving home. Less people are sleeping on the street. Less people are afflicted by behavioral health crises or substance use disorders, and less people are suffering from gun violence. These are the things that wake me up in the morning, and I got these values and exposed to the ways of making life better because of AmeriCorps. And to help people by fixing something, by changing a law or investing in an organization or service that will assist thousands of people at a time. That's what I love. That's what I want to continue working on. And again, I got those values really honed in for me by the AmeriCorps program. Look, everyone, I want to leave you with three things. I want to challenge you this year to do three things. The first is I want to challenge you to take advantage of every moment to do something new. The AmeriCorps program is going to afford you so many new experiences, whether it's training in so many different ways, learning how to develop new skills, how to use tools in the field or build different skills as part of your cohort, communication skills, teaching skills, being more empathetic to others. You're gonna have the opportunity to be exposed to so many new things. I'm confident that many of you and part of big teams are going to be able to do a day of service at one of your peers' sites for a day, or take advantage of so many different training opportunities that I know the AmeriCorps program offers all AmeriCorps programs to support you in whatever your transition is next. I challenge you to take advantage of every moment that you have in front of you over the next 10 or so months to do something new. It's when you push yourself and expose yourself to new things. Some things may be very comfortable to you, some things may be uncomfortable to you. It's those uncomfortable things and those new experiences and new environments that really allow yourself to grow. That's going to be really impactful for you for the long term. So take advantage of every moment to do something new. The second thing I want to challenge you to do is to give your work site and your clients your very all, right? You have the next 10 months to give it absolutely your all. You could be doing anything else in your life for the next 10 months, probably making a lot more money. You've decided to give the next 10 months to your community, to invest in your community and make other people's lives better. So give your work site and your clients your all. Show up on time. Stay to the end. Show up positively with a great attitude, with an open mind and an open heart every single day, especially in the most challenging moments. Do what you need to do to give your experience your all. Not only will it make your time better spent and make your experience better for yourself, but it'll truly make your service better for the gifts you were giving to the many people you're going to be interacting with and serving over the next 10 months. And finally, my last challenge to you is to celebrate your service. You are giving a huge, huge gift to your community, to your country, and to yourself. You're making a huge sacrifice. And I just encourage you to celebrate your service. Use that stipend you're going to earn at the end of your service. Celebrate it to better yourself or pay off those student loans. Celebrate your service by talking about it at every turn, at every future job interview and future endeavor that you are pursuing. People love, I still today, 23 years later, talk about my AmeriCorps service. You can see it actually if you look at, almost every time I get introduced at an event or when I'm running for office or what have you, I lead with my AmeriCorps service because I am so proud of it. And I hope you are too. And I hope you talk about it for the rest of your life and celebrate your service because it is worth celebrating. It is so amazing that you are giving this sacrifice to better your community, your country, and yourself. So with that, everyone, huge amount of congratulations. I'm so glad we get to kick this off with you. I wish you nothing but the best. It's going to be a challenging year, but it's going to be a great year. Congratulations, and I can't wait to hear from so many of you about your experiences this year. Have a great one, everybody.
Great. Thank you so much, Ryan. We really appreciate you taking the time to be here to celebrate the start of the service term. And thank you so much for the service you provided and sharing the impacts that AmeriCorps has had in your life. It was really great to hear that. So everyone, please show up in the reactions in the chat, however you'd like, and thank Ryan for us for being here. We really appreciate it. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Paige Sharp. I'm the Director of Communications here at Serve Washington and a two-term AmeriCorps Vista alum. What's up, Vista people in there? Jump into the comments for that as well. We now have a wonderful group of people here with us to share their stories of serving to inspire you during this term and beyond. Please fill our screens with reactions of all sorts on Zoom for these lovely people. They're wonderful. So glad they're here and they deserve all the love. So please show up as much as you can. Keep on clicking, keep on clicking. Look at that go. It's so great. Thank you. Okay, so we have Caroline Slagle. Caroline Slagle is the program director at director of the Deschutes Estuary Restoration Team. I knew I was going to trip over that one. But also known as DIRT, luckily, so all y'all don't have to be listening to me mispronounce that every time. Where she conducts education outreach and advocacy work for the 4th Avenue Dam Removal and Estuary Restoration Project. She is also a candidate for a master's degree in environmental studies at the Evergreen State College, where she is currently studying ecological restoration. Caroline has completed 3 service years in AmeriCorps as an AmeriCorps Vista with the City of New Orleans Recreation Department and 2 terms with Washington Service Corps. She says her service gave her the management experience to launch a career at DIRT, where she started as a community engagement coordinator and has since been promoted to program director. Thank you, Caroline. And then we have Frenchie Loveheart. Frenchie is a serial entrepreneur, a social worker, and professional barber who enjoys working in the community to address the homeless crisis in Western Washington. He has trained and studied social work, public management, and business. He has served multiple service terms in the AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps, also known as NCCC. He previously served as a Vet Corps navigator in partnership with the Washington State Department of Veteran Affairs, helping veterans transition from military life to academic life. And then we have Iman El Masri. Sorry, Iman. Is a 2-time AmeriCorps alum. Iman served as a Summer Meals Hunger Corps Associate and Benefits Hub Coach. As a Summer Meals Hunger Corps Associate, Iman helped kids get free meals during the summer while conducting outreach at farmers market, community events, and a drive-through food bank in Renton. Iman says the Benefits Hub holds a special place in her heart as she was once a student who sought help from the Benefits Hub and was able to persist in her own academic journey. Iman is currently serving as a lead coach for the 2024-2025 service term. So I'm still proud of being an AmeriCorps Vista alum and 2 terms. Really thought the 2 terms was really saying something, but if y'all all noticed, all 3 of these folks have been serving at least 3 terms. Frenchie is a 4-term AmeriCorps alum, so whew, puts my 2 terms to shame, you know? So please welcome Iman, Frenchie, and Caroline to this. Jump into the reactions, stay in the reactions as we're going through. We're going to go through some questions and learn about their service term. All right, so first question. This is going to go to all of y'all. What was the most impactful thing during your term of service? Iman, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Thanks, Paige. I would say the most impactful thing was a moment I had with somebody I was working with, a student. And this is a moment that I think about every day. I was just helping the student access some basic needs resources, and we were having some technical troubles. And then once that was fixed, there was just like this wave of relief that like washed over the student. And it was just by passing along information that could help their basic needs resources. And I've seen this happen with other students and people we get to work with, but that was the one moment that just sticks with me every day. And it was very inspiring and impactful.
Thank you, Iman. All right, Frenchie, can you share with us what was the most impactful thing during your term of service?
Yes, thank you, Paige. One of the most impactful experience with me was working with student veterans at my institution, alumni Evergreen State College. Was helping them with the yellow ribbon and the federal work study, um, and just the transition and how they support them with funding that allowed them to receive housing on campus housing that they was worried about because for a couple of days they were sleeping in their vehicle out, and once I found that out, that was my position as a AmeriCorps member was to work with veterans as a veteran navigator and peer support. So that was very impactful. The person actually cried a little, and I will never forget that. Just because they was able to get housing that same day, with being approved for a federal work study and their yellow ribbon. uh, funding for academics. So that was one of the most impactful times of my service year. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Frenchie. And then Caroline, I didn't forget about you. What was the most impactful thing during your term of service?
Yeah, so during my second term of service, I served at Thurgood Marshall Middle School in Olympia, and I served with their environmental alternative program, helping with their native plant garden that the students would grow and then to go to restoration projects and do plantings. And I did not have an environmental background, and I got to learn alongside the students and get excited with them about restoration ecology and also horticulture as well. And really got to learn and tap into this network of environmentalists that exists in Washington and in Olympia especially. And it sent me on the path I'm on today, pursuing a master's of environmental studies, working in the environmental fields. And a new update is that I am no longer going to be the program director of DIRT because I got a job with the Department of Fish and Wildlife very recently. So I'm starting with them next week as a scientific tech working in the fish passage department. And it's all really thanks to my AmeriCorps term that I was able to pursue this career in service to salmon and the environment. So
Yay. Oh, Caroline, congratulations. That's huge. Oh, that's so wonderful. Um, I just have to say I knew Caroline for a brief minute. She did her second term over with Washington Service Corps where I was for a while. Very cool. So it was really cool to see how that's growing for you, Caroline. Congratulations. Okay, so next question. So I know this really is a question that Aman, Iman and Frenchie, y'all have good examples for this, so this will be for you. Can you tell us about a successful service project you completed during your term of service? Iman, I'll start with you again.
Yeah. There was a special project that our team had, and it was to log data entries from paper entries from the student pantry that we were a part of. We were a part of last year at Renton Technical College, and there was a bit of a backlog, and so part of it was the food pantry was actually the special project of a prior AmeriCorps member. And so that was actually kind of fun to know that we were still working on something that had been started just the previous year. So from the data from the food pantry, we learned that there were thousands of pounds of food provided for I think a few thousand students and community members within the first year. And then just in the end, to see the final numbers was a really humbling experience, just to see how much food goes out and who it's getting to and how many people. So it was it was quite a fun experience for me.
Thank you. All right, Frenchie, can you tell us about a successful service project you completed?
Thanks, Paige. Yes, I can. I served at Antioch University in Seattle, and supported major support with the Veteran Resource Center as the program manager assistant. And what I would serve with, was working with different department heads and coming together at spring quarter. We was at Battle Locks at the beach, where we brought different constituents from the institution to work with students, drama therapy, different other departments, psychology department, uh, business information department, and veteran services, and the other staff and faculty that came to support the student pop body, where had a beautiful day out on the beach, and we did different therapy programs. And working with just students, and after that we had a qualitative research uh, assessment on the student population, and asked them how they felt about the service project. and we had such an overwhelming response, positive response to the event that I believe they still use that event as of now. So I'm great to see that experience and to see such a positive uh, effect on the student population that I left there during my service year.
Oh, how cool. Thank you, Frenchie. That's amazing.
Thank you.
All right. So third question, and this will be for all of y'all. So Iman and Frenchie, I hope y'all aren't too tired. But what opportunities did you take advantage of during your service term that has helped you? And Iman, I'll start with you again.
Yes, so I took advantage of a retreat for breath work and meditation from an organization called The Art of Living. And The Art of Living, their breath work has been backed up by over 100 studies showing improvement in anxiety, depression, insomnia, concentration, and socialization, and more. I initially did this because my boss and my fellow service member were going and invited me along, so I thought it would be a good way to engage with them. The retreat was over 3 days, but it was just 2 or 3 hours a day. And I knew that this position and all direct service members have could experience compassion fatigue from the work that we do. So going to this retreat was very beneficial. And it was such an incredible experience and has benefited me personally and professionally that I went on to get wellness coach training, and I can now lead 1 hour workshops teaching breathwork techniques. So that was one thing that I took advantage of that's helped me with this job and outside.
Amazing. Oh, Iman, that is so wonderful. And y'all, I know a lot of those that are already in service, just starting service, or those who manage programs are very aware of, like, yeah, it can get exhausting doing this service for a whole year and overwhelming. And so please, if anyone feels like that is something they'd like to learn more about, Iman will put the organization's name in the chat whenever you have time, Iman, no pressure. But that just is fantastic and so glad to hear that. Okay, so Frenchie, what opportunities did you take advantage of during your service term that has helped you?
Yeah, thanks, Paige. Um, what I took away was from my one of my terms is service terms was the leadership training, which they sent a group of us down to Dallas, Texas, all over the United States, AmeriCorps Vista, different AmeriCorps organizations, service organizations, and we worked on learning about more management, leadership training, facilitating mentoring, indirect service, direct service, depending on the area your focus was. Uh, so I took away a lot of training, managing up, working with management, and some of these skill sets that I've took away from my leadership training in Dallas, Texas. I'm still using currently as an entrepreneur, as an author, working doing paneling, mentoring college students as of now, and also just being an all around well person. These skill sets, active listening, took away. Just being all around a positive leader, servant leaderhoods, traditional leadership, different skill sets that you definitely will use in your career in the future. And I was definitely pleasantly surprised to see all the skill set that I received, and I remember, and I wrote down many of the training process courses that we had, breakout sessions that we had during our leadership training.
Very cool. Thank you, Frenchie. Okay, and Caroline, what opportunities did you take advantage of during your service terms that helped you?
Yeah, so applying for SNAP and qualifying for SNAP was a opportunity that was really helpful to me in the program. And I recommend talking to your site coordinator about how to do that. And if you qualify for SNAP, there's other benefits that you can be eligible for as well. For example, there's the Market Match program in Washington that about 100 different farmers markets participate in, which allows you to access more fresh fruits and vegetables. And then you can also look locally within the town you're in. There are sometimes different nonprofits that offer additional services. If you have a SNAP card, and like, for example, in Olympia, there is a nonprofit that offers assistance for if you have animals to provide basically like a food bank for pet food and also other vet care services if you have that benefits card. So I recommend it if you are unsure how to apply. I recommend talking to your site coordinator about that. There is a employment verification form that is helpful to fill out and show when you are going through the application process. And it ended up being a very beneficial support while being in AmeriCorps.
Awesome. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, everyone look up your farmer's market. Most of them will do the double up, the match for your SNAP. It really extends your income, and then that way, or I guess it's not technically income, but it extends your money. And so please take advantage of that and then support your local farmer. So, you know, all the good things that we love. All right, so next question. All right. After you ended your service with AmeriCorps, how did you utilize your new experiences and skills within your future jobs? And how did you describe/present your AmeriCorps experiences and skills on your resume or CV? Now, Iman and Caroline, I know y'all have great examples of this. Can you, especially Caroline, with moving on to the new role coming up, but Iman, please, would you like to share anything about that and how you've utilized it?
Yeah, so I'm currently in another service term, but usually how it's worked out for me with the last two service terms is I was getting prepared to apply for the next year's positions. And I think about like, you know, halfway through, you kind of think about what you're going to be doing in another 6 months. And really for me, mostly it involved updating my resume to reflect the work accomplished in the prior term. And I do make sure to describe my work as a service member with AmeriCorps and um, you know, putting in there somewhere that I'm a national service volunteer, part of the volunteer service corps that helps communities obtain volunteers needed to work on projects that improve their communities. And with that, I try to incorporate all the things that my positions have helped to serve the community. And so I think with that, I'm always thinking about what skills I'm gaining, what I'm improving upon, and how that can serve in another position, whether it's with AmeriCorps or outside. And so I think that's something that I'm always thinking about is how can I use these skills for the future?
Awesome. Thank you. And Caroline, after you ended service, how did you utilize your experiences for all the future jobs and how did you get to where you are? I feel very similar. I feel like AmeriCorps, you know, got me where I am today for sure. So I'd love to hear what you're experiencing right now.
Yeah, so AmeriCorps was both a service experience and also a job experience. Like I really got to gain a lot more knowledge and get exposed to the environmental field. And especially with the school that I was working at, I got involved and connected with restoration projects. And gained also a lot of skills in gardening and horticulture as well. And I was able to describe that experience in my resume. So in addition to working in a school, helping students in a classroom, I also did get to describe, you know, that special individual experience in my resume of having experience with restoration projects and having experience growing native plants and also being able to identify native plants. So I highly recommend in your resume, think not just about what your position description was, but also additional experience that you gain within your service term that can really translate into the job that you want in the future. And so I was able to use that environmental and restoration ecology experience to move into the position I am today, which is an environmental advocacy group that's advocating for the restoration of an estuary in downtown Olympia. And I was fortunately also able to use the stipend to start my master's at Evergreen. And there's also universities, including Evergreen, that offer special scholarships to former AmeriCorps members as well.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for lifting that up. Yeah, it's true. And I think I'm just going to throw in one little thing too, for myself is our network is wide, y'all. Like there are AmeriCorps people everywhere. And I personally got my graduate assistantship right in grad school because of my AmeriCorps term. Just so happened that there was a professor there who also was an AmeriCorps alum and immediately fought for me to be the graduate assistant for him, and it was great. And I think that's been every position I've had so far. So definitely pull from your experience, learn all you can this year. It's great. It'll help you for much longer than you think it will. Okay, so last question. This is for all of y'all, and I think I have a sneaking suspicion I know the answer to it. But as y'all are 3-term and 4-term alum, would you advise doing a second term? And what has inspired you to serve again or served again? We'll start with Iman again.
Yes, I would advise doing a second term for sure. What inspired me to serve again? It's overall benefits. I am still working on my degree, so the Siegel Award is a huge thing, a part of this, but it's also the experience gained while serving. Our stipend is I'm very grateful for, and then on top of that, it's the amazing people I get to serve with, the people we serve, and the overall work we do to help improve our community. So I would definitely advise doing a second term or third or fourth.
Great. Frenchie, how about you? Would you advise folks to do another term? And what inspired you to serve so many times?
Yes, I definitely would advise everyone to serve second year. I'm ex-military, United States Navy, and I'm always all about serving my community, serving my state, county, region. So I definitely would advise ones to serve a second year. It gives you more skills. It actually cements what you learned your first year, and actually you transfer it to other different skills that you might be able to pick up your second term. There's a lot of motivation that you're gonna take away, and inspiration. It will very much inspire you. The people you're gonna meet, the, the support channels you're gonna develop. So definitely, and I would say, as tap on what Iman said, the benefits. Make sure one thing I always say: make sure when you complete your term, because that's depending on your Seagulls Award. You get a Seagull Award your first 2 years, but you must complete the term to receive the Seagulls Award. So I want to make that as a caveat. Definitely, I want to touch on before, if none of us do. I want to say that you must complete your service year to receive your Seagulls Award, and that's most important, because that would help you with grad school, with different opportunities out there, trainings and leadership trainings, and so make sure you do that throughout your service year. So definitely, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Frenchie. And then Caroline, would you advise others to do a second term? And what inspired you to serve 3 times?
Yeah, so I would advise it if it makes sense for you, and it's a very individual experience. I had a good experience serving 3 times, and remember that this is also it's service experience, and it's also job and work experience too. So part of my inspiration, in addition to doing service, was a career pivot. So I was really interested in working in the environmental field, and I did not have any background in it. My undergrad was liberal arts, and I was also new to the state as well. I had moved with family, and I served again partly because I wanted to explore the environmental field and the opportunities that were there, and to gain skills and see if it was right for me. And it really, it helped me do that, and helped me understand the steps that I needed to take to get where I wanted to be, and that it was actually where I wanted to be. So I would advise it if it, you know, it makes sense for you and your situation. And I always would advise it if you're considering that you want to pursue a degree or pursue a career in a certain field. AmeriCorps service terms can be a really good way to do good work and also gain that experience and insight.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much. This is so wonderful to hear all y'all's experiences, talk about AmeriCorps. You know, we're all nerds for AmeriCorps out here. So this was so great. And I just loved hearing all the different ways that you could, y'all had served and served our communities. So everyone, please, once again, join me in thanking them. Throw it in the reactions, throw it in the chat. Let's say thank you. Y'all did great. Love hearing about that, and thank you for being here to celebrate the new service term with everyone going into service this year. It's a long, intense year that is it just changes everything, and y'all are just proof of that. So thank you so much. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do, we will now move forward onto a wonderful video from Governor Inslee welcoming y'all to service. So please join me now with reactions in the chat for Governor Jay Inslee. Thank you.
Hi, Governor Inslee here. Congratulations, and today you're embarking on an exciting journey, I know. You're going to do a great deal of good work for your fellow Washingtonians. You know, the very first vote I ever took in Congress was to help pass the bill that created AmeriCorps. And I can't tell you how proud I am of that vote and seeing your work. It's been a privilege to meet so many people engaged in AmeriCorps projects over the years. It's always inspiring to meet people tackling the nation's most pressing challenges. Whether you're working directly with people in need or contributing to conservation efforts, your service makes a difference. I'm also confident that through service, you'll find new ways to grow. This has the potential to shape who you are and who you're going to be. So I hope you embrace that. So thank you for your commitment to service. I just love to see you doing your work. I was watching a AmeriCorps member fighting a fire up by Lake George last summer. That's the kind of thing we need in this country. Congratulations. Let's keep the ball rolling.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sean Newman, Program Officer at Serve Washington. You are embarking on an exciting service year. And as we've heard today already from our speakers, it's one that will really continue to impact you, both in this chapter of your life and beyond. This year, AmeriCorps is celebrating its 30th anniversary, which means that the first members were sworn in 1994. The AmeriCorps pledge you are about to hear has been made by many members who have served before you. As an alum that served both in Georgia and then here in Washington State, I too did this pledge. Last month, we asked our members to record their members saying the pledge. And what you are about to see now is a compilation of those videos. AmeriCorps pledge to get things done.
I will get things done for America to make our people safer, smarter, and healthier.
I will bring Americans together to strengthen our communities.
Faced with apathy, I will take action.
Faced with conflict, I will seek common ground.
Faced with adversity, I will persevere.
I will carry this commitment with me this year and beyond.
I am an AmeriCorps member, and I will get things done.
Well, everyone, that concludes our swearing-in ceremony today. A huge congratulations to each and every one of you. We know you are so busy, so we appreciate the time you took to celebrate yourselves, your teammates, and your commitment to something huge. You should be receiving an email later today from SurveyMonkey. It may also come from Lou Thompson here at Serve Washington. And we encourage you to share your thoughts and feedback with us about today's ceremony no later than November 8th. And please remember to join us for our optional virtual member networking event from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock today. And that link should also be in the chat. If you need to learn more information or you need the link again after we finish today, please reach out to your program supervisor. I want to thank you again and wish you the best of luck with the remainder of your service year, and reach out to us here at Serve Washington. We are here to support you. So reach out to us anytime. Thank you again and congratulations.